Rise or fall, the kingdom of Lawrence. Thaw Truth, a parable of legacy, betrayal, and bloodline war. In the land of the Bayou Kingdoms, where faith met concrete and prayers rose through the smoke of struggle, there ruled a man known as King Lawrence Thaw Truth. Not a king crowned by gold, but a king crowned by survival, wisdom, and vision. His kingdom wasn't built in palaces, it was built in discipline, sacrifice, and belief. And like all great kings, he had a house with 11 children, 9 sons, 2 daughters, and a wife named Queen Brianna, the heart that held the kingdom together when war tried to break it apart. The kingdom built on truth. King Lawrence didn't inherit power, he created it. He used to say, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Proverbs 29:18. So he gave his children vision. He taught them that strength wasn't just muscle, it was discipline when nobody is watching. He taught them that wealth wasn't just money, it was wisdom that multiplies generations. And he told them, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. Proverbs 13:22. So he built, brick by brick, lesson by lesson, trial by trial. But every kingdom built in greatness eventually faces internal war, the rise of envy. Among his sons stood 2 rising voices, Lawrence Jacob, the firstborn, and his brother Elijah. At first, they admired their father, but admiration turned into pressure, and pressure turned into envy. They started whispering in the dark halls of the kingdom, "Why must he still rule? Why must we stay under his shadow? Isn't it time for a new king?" And the Bible warns, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Mark 3:25. But pride rarely listens to wisdom. The plan to destroy the king. Lawrence Jacob began building alliances among the other sons. Elijah began questioning the old ways. Together, they didn't just want freedom, they wanted the throne, not through honor, but through overthrow. Queen Brianna felt the shift first. A mother always does. She warned King Lawrence, "Your sons are not just growing, they are plotting." But the king, wise but heavy-hearted, replied, "Even my own blood can become my greatest test." The breaking point. One night, under a blood-red moon over the Bayou Kingdom, the truth finally surfaced. Lawrence Jacob stood before the household. His voice shook, but not with fear, with conviction. "We are tired of waiting for power we believe we deserve." Elijah stepped forward beside him. "This kingdom should belong to the next generation." Silence fell. King Lawrence stood slowly, not angry, not loud, just heavy with disappointment. And he spoke words that carried like thunder. "Honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be long." Exodus 20:12. But Jacob replied, "Honor without power is just submission." That was the moment. The line was drawn. The war within the bloodline. The kingdom didn't fall from outsiders. It fell into civil war. Brother against brother. Son against father. Truth against pride. The 9 sons split. Some stayed loyal. Some followed Jacob and Elijah. Queen Brianna prayed every night, "Lord, restore what pride is trying to destroy." But prayer alone doesn't stop decisions already made in the heart. The Bayou Kingdom turned into a battlefield of legacy. The king's last lesson. King Lawrence never picked up a weapon. Instead, he stood in the center of the collapsing kingdom and said, "Even now, I will not destroy what I built with my own hands." He looked at Jacob, then Elijah, and said, "You wanted a throne, but you never understood the weight of it. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?" Mark 8:36. That sentence cracked the war in half, because deep down, they knew he was right. The turning point. Elijah dropped his head first. The younger sons hesitated. Jacob still stood firm. But something inside him was breaking, because power felt different when it cost you your family. And slowly, the kingdom began to shift, not from violence, but from realization that they weren't fighting for legacy, they were destroying it. The fall or the rise. Queen Brianna stepped forward one final time. "Look at what pride has built, a kingdom without unity." And she quoted, "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Proverbs 16:18. Silence covered the land. Jacob finally spoke softer. "I wanted to be king, but I didn't want to lose my father." Elijah whispered, "I thought power would make me whole, but it made me empty." The king's decision. King Lawrence walked forward. He didn't exile them. He didn't destroy them. Instead, he said, "I will not lose my sons to pride. You are still my blood, but a kingdom can. Rise or fall, ye king of the bayou, Lawrence the truth."
Hurricane walking backwards across the surface of a sea. The water did not trickle. It stood up. Verse 22. The children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. A wall of water, held by God. For 2 million people walking barefoot on sea-bottom sand, still sticky with salt. Children clutching the hems of their mothers' robes. Old men leaning on staffs, sheep and goats bleating at the strangeness of it. Fish swimming in the walls on either side like stained glass in a cathedral nobody has built yet. This is the birth canal of a nation. God is delivering a people the same way a mother delivers a child. Through water, in pain, in the middle of the night. On the other side they stop and turn. And here comes Pharaoh. Verse 23. The Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots and his horsemen. And the Lord looked down upon the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians. Troubled. Their wheels came off. Their horses panicked. Their captains screamed. Then Moses stretches the rod again, and the sea comes home. The walls collapse. The water that had been standing like glass for hours falls in one thunder. Verse 27. The sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. And the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. By sunrise, the beach is littered with the wreckage of an empire. Bronze helmets, chariot wheels still turning in the surf, armored corpses washing up one after another like driftwood. Something that hit me the third or fourth time I read this chapter was that verse 29 does not just say, Israel crossed. It says, Israel crossed on dry ground. Not damp ground, not muddy ground, dry. The God who is powerful enough to split a sea is tender enough to make sure the children's feet stay dry on the way out. That is the God we are talking about. Precise, thorough, aware of what the little ones need. Write that down somewhere. Here is the theological landing. Israel was not born as a nation the day Abraham was called. Israel was not born as a nation the day Jacob wrestled the angel. Israel was born as a nation the day God split the sea and walked them through it. Every anthem they would ever sing, every temple they would ever build, every scroll they would ever open, every exile they would ever suffer, all of it comes from this night. The Red Sea is the birth certificate, and the hand of God is the signature at the bottom of the page. Keep that signature in your mind, because 40 years later, the same God is going to hand Moses a second document, and on that document is written every single thing that will happen to this nation, from that sunrise until a trading floor in 1792, Manhattan. That is where we are going next. 40 years have passed. The generation that sang at the Red Sea is buried in the wilderness. Their bones are scattered across 40 years of desert. And Moses, old, weathered, sunburned, 120 years in his body, stands on the plains of Moab looking east across the Jordan River. Canaan is right there. He will not cross it. He knows he will not cross it.